Hello Harpists and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's great to have you here. I am really excited about our topic for today, which is arranging. So I know a lot of you are interested in arranging and you've been wondering, how can you get into arranging? What are some tips? Or maybe how you can develop your arranging skills? Well, that's what today's session is all about. So maybe you are completely new to arranging, you've never thought about doing it before, but maybe you're interested in seeing what it's all about. Arranging is when you take a melody or maybe even take a full piece and you redo it, or you change something about it, or perhaps you put chords to the melody, or you use chords to make up a left hand, and you create something of your own from that melody, and then you have your arrangement of that piece. So perhaps you're completely new and you're interested in some tips to get into arranging. Maybe you've dabbled in arranging a little bit, but you'd like to develop that skill a bit further. Maybe you've got a tune that you really want to play and you've got some chords, but how do you actually get going with that? Or are you a seasoned pro and you've done lots of arranging before, but maybe you're interested in how you can mix things up a little bit and get some new ideas in your arranging. Well, if any of that sounds like something you might be interested in, then this video is for you. And join me in this challenge or this project as I share with you my Frankenstein arrangement project. If you're ready to get going with it, then let's jump into our lesson. Now, before we get going with our project, I would like to say that if you are interested in arranging, I would really recommend getting a bit of a knowledge about music harmony and music structure, the way that music is put together. If you have a basic understanding, or even better, a deep understanding of harmony and music structure, then when you come to arranging and making choices within your arranging process, you'll be really well informed. You'll understand why certain chords are being used, why certain chords work, or maybe not work or don't work, but maybe sound pleasant or sound spicy. You'll understand why that's happening. Or if you want to evoke a certain emotion through your music, you will know and understand how to do that, what harmony you need to use in order to create those emotions. Now, I do have a How to Harp harmony course. It's a course on harmony and music structure, which is specifically aimed at harpists, but there are lots of places to learn music harmony. You can learn it in lots of different places. You don't have to do a harp specific course. You can do any course or learn about it through YouTube or lots of different places. And also music structure. But I'd really recommend, if you are interested in it, doing a bit more work to really understand and appreciate music harmony, and it will really help you as you move through your arranging journey. Alright guys, let's jump into the Frankenstein Project. Now, the concept behind this project comes from an approach that I take to a lot of my teaching, and that is imitate, assimilate, innovate. Now, the idea behind this really, it comes from a way that we learn a lot of things in our lives. If you think about the way that we learn our language, the first thing we do is we imitate those around us. Our parents, our loved ones, our families. As little babies, we are starting to make the same kind of noises that those around us are making. We start to learn, assimilate the knowledge, we learn what the words mean, we learn how to construct sentences and how to communicate. And then as we become more confident with our language skills, we maybe start to take words from different areas. Thinking about Scotland, I grew up in the Central Belt, but sometimes I use words that are from Glasgow, where I studied, sometimes from the Highlands and the Islands, where a lot of my music comes from. And so little words from different regions and different dialects coming into our own kind of vocabulary, and then the way we choose to express ourselves is unique to us. It's innovation within our language. Well, the same can be true for our music. if you think about the way we generally learn music, we're imitating our teacher to start with. We're doing what our teacher tells us to. We are copying our teacher. We're watching them, listening to them. We're imitating our teacher often. And then we work on all of the things that they tell us to work on. And then we maybe start to look at other harpists. You know, maybe we even get a workshop, or we go to a course from another harpist. We start to learn little snippets from elsewhere, and we start to become our own creative identity. We start to develop and innovate within our music, and we start to become our own selves in our music. Well, the same is true for our arranging. And this Frankenstein project is set up around that basis. Imitate first, assimilate and understand the knowledge, and then begin to innovate. And that's the process we're going to go through. Step 1, imitate. The first thing that we're going to do is find 3 or 4 arrangements of the same piece by different harpers. Or if you can't find the same piece by different harpers, then something that's similar, maybe something that's in the same key signature and the same time signature and has the same kind of feel. Maybe it's from the same genre, or something along those lines. But things that are very similar, arranged by 3 or 4 different harpists. Now for the example in this video, I am going to share Coilsfield House. That is a Scottish slow air, which was written by Nathaniel Gow, a fiddle player. And it's been arranged by Ailie Robertson, Mary Macmaster, and myself. And I'm only sharing the first little section of this, just as an example. But if you enjoy the piece, then we will put links to everyone else, all the pieces, so that you can get in touch with those harpists and find their arrangements of those pieces. So step 1, find pieces, the same piece arranged by different harpists, or a very similar piece arranged by different harpists. And we're looking at Coilsfield House. So let's start by I'll just let you hear the melody of Coilsfield House. Okay, so that's our first section, and that's what we are going to look at. So let's head over and take a deeper look at our step 1 section. All right, guys, so you've found 3 or 4 pieces by 3 or 4 different harpists, hopefully the same piece. Step 1 is to learn the pieces by the different harpists. All right, now this is why you want to choose a piece that's maybe at your standard or even slightly below the standard that you're playing at, because you want this project to be really about the arranging, and you don't want to get bogged down on trying to learn really challenging pieces. So make sure you choose a piece that is a nice standard for you to work at. Learn the 3 or 4 different arrangements. So for this example, let's have a listen. I played you the first section, the melody before, of Coilsfield House. So let's now have a listen to the 3 different arrangements, the 3 different approaches from our different harpists. So this is Ailie Robertson's arrangement, the first section of Ailie Robertson's arrangement of Coilsfield House. All right, so next up we have got Mary Macmaster's arrangement of Coilsfield House. Alright guys, so last up we're going to have a listen to my arrangement of the first line of Coilsfield House. So there you heard 3 different approaches to the same tune. Some of them more similar than others. Ailie and I have got quite a few similarities between us, our pieces, and Mary's is quite different, but you can hear that it's the same melody. And you can hear certain, I guess you could say, originalities coming out. Like you can hear the styles of the different arrangers starting to come out. And indeed, if you take this project even deeper and you start to really study one harpist and how they arrange, you'll start to notice, okay, they often use, I don't know, 10th chords, they quite like the étouffée technique, or, you know, maybe they like 7th chords, they're jazzy, they like stepwise movement. You'll start to notice things that a specific harpist likes and likes to use a lot. You'll start to recognize their style. Now, in this project, what you're going to do is you're going to learn your 3 different pieces of music, but as you're learning them, I want you to really ask yourself, what do I like about this? What am I enjoying about the approach that this harpist has taken to the arrangement? So now we're starting to get into this assimilation. We're starting to think about what we like and don't like, how the music is feeling for us, and you're starting to kind of build your creative voice as you ask yourself these questions. So you're learning your 3 arrangements, and as you learn them, or 4 arrangements, and as you learn them, you're asking yourself, what do I like or not like? Okay everyone, so step 2 in our Frankenstein project. So you've learned your pieces, maybe it's 3 pieces, like in the examples that I played. You've learnt them, you've asked yourself your questions as you've gone along, which bits you like and which bits you don't like so much, and maybe even why. If you can ask yourself why, even better. Step 2, you're going to start to create your Frankenstein arrangement. Now, when I do this with my students, I actually have them print the sheet music and literally have the sheet music in front of them, take a highlighter, and you're going to highlight bars that you particularly like. So maybe in the arrangement that we heard, I played 4 bars. Maybe I really like the way that I open the arrangement. And then I'm going to go into Ailie's 2nd bar, and then I'm going to use Mary's 3rd bar, and then I'm going to go back to my 4th bar. And so I'm taking elements of each of the arrangements and I'm putting them together like Frankenstein. So you're going to create your own arrangement. You're going to highlight the bits that you like, the bits that you want to pull together and make into your own arrangement. And I think it's really great to really get you know, actually practical and really get on that sheet of paper and highlighting them, playing them. Which bar do I like best here? Which you don't have to do bars, you can even do like chords. This person's chosen this chord, this person's chosen this one, which one do I actually like? And really playing into each of the sections. And so by the end of it, you will have 3 or 4 sheets of sheet music with all different sections highlighted. And that's your step 2. So third and final step, as I'm sure you can imagine, is to play your new Frankenstein arrangement. Now, this is your arrangement. You have taken ideas from everyone else that you've been imitating, but through that you've created your own arrangement. Now, you probably want to say arranged by Joe Bloggs, influenced by or inspired by Ailie Robertson, Mary Macmaster, Heather Downie. That would be very respectful. But this is really just a project for you to have fun with. It's not necessarily meaning that you're going to take this and, I don't know, sell your new Frankenstein arrangements. You do want to think about being respectful depending on what you're doing with it to the work that you've used from other people. But really the idea is to help you understand your own creative voice. Why did I like bar 1 of Ailie? Why did I like bar 2 from Heather? Why did I enjoy bar 3 from Mary? What was it about these things that I really liked? So you're going to put it all together. You might want to rewrite your sheet music, so you've now got your Frankenstein arrangement instead of having to look at all the different parts. And you're going to learn your new arrangement, your arrangement of your piece. Now, as you're learning it, at this point, there might be some little tweaks that you want to bring in. Because sometimes when people are arranging things, they get a creative flow. They're flowing through the chords. And so by pulling elements from different places together, sometimes that flow is slightly lost. So at this point, you really start to innovate because you're using those ideas, but you're maybe then changing little bits here and there to help with the flow of the music, just because you like the way it sounds. Okay, so you're learning your new arrangement, you're maybe tweaking it a little bit, and you're going to end up with your own Frankenstein project of the piece that you chose. And so that's the Frankenstein project. It should really help you get to know yourself a bit better musically. It will help you start to think about, why might this harpist have chosen this chord here? What were they maybe trying to do with that? Why have they chosen the flow of chords? What do I like? Do I like the more spicy jazz chords with sevenths and these kinds of things? Do I like the running chords that tuck under? Do I like block chords? Do I like to roll things? Do I like adding harmony in the right hand by putting a few chords in the right hand? That happens quite a few times in our arrangements that I showed you. Do I like to make a little introduction? All these different questions that you can start to answer as you are working through your Frankenstein project. And I'd really recommend that as you're doing it, that you journal, that you write down through the process how you're feeling about things, how it's going, because that's a reference for you to look back on. When you are stuck in a rut with your arranging, you can look back on your Frankenstein project and be like, oh yeah, I had that idea, or I had this idea and I might start using that a little bit more. So if you've enjoyed the project, if you've taken part in the project, please do write in the comments. Let us know how you've gotten on. What piece did you choose? What harpist did you study? And did you end up going deeper? Did you take a harpist and then after doing that one arrangement, did you start to study all of their style? What did you find out about them? What inspired you? What do you like and not like? Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe this video to keep up to date with all the different tips and tricks that I'll be sharing with you, and keep in touch. But above all, have fun with it all, and happy harping, everyone.